Good morning, world. Okay, so we're streaming along. Frankly, I've done a few things since the last time I streamed, but I thought this would be a good time to sort of get some things caught up. One nice thing here in OpenToonz is you can, with your eraser, you can specify whether you're erasing lines or areas, which was really pretty useful because for this pose we had a bit of a critique on this pose here, the shape of his foot, and was pretty quick and easy to go in, change the pose, and now we can just let's go to the fill tool. And actually, I need to, come to think of it, I need to put this strap here and this little piece here. So his socks are black. So we just draw a lasso around that, lasso around that, and then his wraps are blue. And this is going to be the color of the leather. So now we pull out. So just a few things here. Actually, technically, that really should be. A different color. So I'm kind of zipping through and making note of some things in OpenToonz that are proving to be pretty useful. One is, let's see, I can hit RGB here, sample that color, and then just create a slightly darker version of it for the soles of his feet, or of his shoes, I guess I should say. If I zoom in here, go to 32, wait, I guess that's the color I just picked, yeah. So, okay, so we don't want that to be too saturated. So we can go in here. If we zoom in on the palette, we can change the names. Of the colors. Okay, and back to the fill tool. And so this sole, I think, should be darker as well. Yeah, that looks better. Now, I'm not going to claim that this imagery is definitive in terms of the wall they're climbing. We are definitely going to address some things downstream a bit, but one thing that's quite cool is that I animated the pose of Akari sleeping. So basically you go from this shot to this one, and then I use the animate tool, just the A key, to animate her, you know, the camera in essence panning. So I'm simulating, instead of doing camera animation, I'm just moving this. Well, the problem with that was that the background really wasn't part of it. So this is another good thing with OpenToonz, is if you just pull up the schematic view and grab the shot of Akari and then take the exterior, which I actually have a drawing as well as the painted image that you just saw of the brick wall, and just connect them here in the schematic view, and then the translation of the shot of Akari sleeping is automatically transferred to these two columns that are attached to it. So in terms of hierarchy and sort of organizing your work, that's pretty simple. So what I was saying about not necessarily being final on the you know, this painting is actually not complete or correct. The window needs to be twice as wide, and all the direction around the exterior needs to be changed. But at least it was cool that I could bring this shot into OpenToonz and immediately, you know, it's a raster level, so I could immediately use the My Paint brushes to go in and erase the doorway and stuff so you can see through it to see her. So obviously we need a background behind her as well, and that will also have to be connected to this column. which I'm turning off and on right now. See, right now the only thing here, it cuts to the wide shot, pans up, and then our ninja buddies, of which of course only one frame is painted, they're climbing the wall. You know, then there's going to be a rock, there's going to be a piece that slips down here in perspective and hits the ground, which disturbs her. She's going to roll over and apparently be more comfortable. He's a little bit worried about what just happened. His partner's not happy with him. But off they go. But guess what? She knows what's going on. Okay, so that's the story. And then the other thing was, once I found out that this shot here had a mistake in it, I was initially kind of bummed out, but it was actually quite quick to go in and modify it. So now what I'm going to do here, let me look at how I might want to do this. Where is our shot of our guy that's already painted? Oh, I see, that's a static shot. That's the other guy's frame. Okay, so this is, now I think what I was initially thinking is I'm going to leave the color. I'm just going to think of it in terms of local color. What is the actual color of this stuff? And then we'll deal with actually making things match color-wise in post. However, I think that might be slightly misguided because the difference here is pretty dramatic. In terms of his flesh is way too bright considering the environment, the situation. So let me just check a couple things here. One thing that is a bit strange is if I'm zoomed into the palette and I double click a color, then we can change those colors with the style editor. If we are zoomed into the palette, double clicking lets you change the name. So both things are useful, but it doesn't seem like you can do both at the same time. So like if I were to, I wonder what happens if I double click like on this white edge. Okay, that's the answer. Double click the white edge. Okay, so that color is the, I'm just gonna call this leather because we would assume that stuff's made of leather. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and color his flesh this really obnoxious yellow color. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can then just, whoops, sorry. Okay, so we'll just call this Ninja Flesh Tone. Alright, and as usual, save early, save often. So now we can go ahead and change that color to whatever we want it to be. So we want it to be a basic flesh tone, but I'm thinking let's go ahead and at least to a degree accommodate the fact that it's nighttime and all the rest. One thing we do need to do is correct this. That's supposed to be black. Okay, so now it's just cool because we can make modifications to this as needed, and that's that. Okay, so anyway, like I said, another thing that's worth considering is that we really do need some shadows for these guys. So that's probably going to be a post-production process. The way I would probably do that is I think we can take this whole frame and in the schematic view, which I'll open up. Okay, so in the schematic view, go here to the effects view of the schematic. Like for example, the wall right here has a slight blur on it, but you only see it if you go into preview mode. So it's, as you can see, it's slightly blurred. I don't even know if I'm going to need that, but so what we'll probably do is take the ninja guys and use effects, because as you can see here, in terms of node-based compositing and all the rest, OpenToonz has a quadzillion different effects. Pretty much does everything Blender can do as a node-based compositor. I would argue actually that it's better, but that's a whole discussion of its own. So with that, what that means is that if we take these frames that have the ninjas and then we use effects to clamp, what we'll probably do is duplicate the level, clamp it down to 0 so it's completely black, blur it, make it semi-transparent, and then give it an offset. And now you have a shadow that will shine on the wall. And frankly, another thing we'll do is, like right here, we'll have some moonbeams that are cutting in across here. So that should look pretty cool. So yeah, and obviously the wall needs color correction as well. As far as the scale of it, I'm a little uncertain, but I think we're close to what the scale should be. The one thing I'm thinking is, basically, if this actually was a doorway and she was going to stand in it, it seems like it would need to be a little taller. And I say that based on the size of the ninja as he's climbing. You know, like if, in other words, if he was going to climb in there and that was supposed to be a doorway, he would pretty much bump his head. So with that, I'm going to hit the A key, and let's. It looks like we're unlocked as far as. Yeah, if these aren't locked, then it's not necessarily going to maintain its aspect ratio. So if I want to scale this, let's just do it this way. Let's just do 110%. That's interesting. So I increased the H, which you would, H is not height. H is horizontal. Yeah, and I'm probably going to go in and do some hand painting. Actually, honestly, what we really need to do, frankly, is do some cloning and take these bricks, and these bricks need to actually extend all the way up so that essentially maybe just below the, like right here where this little flaw in the mortar is, that's where the brick should end, because these guys need to have something they can get a grip on with their hands and feet, obviously. But this actually looks pretty good. Obviously, you see some unsharp masking in this image, so that's got to be improved with probably some paint work. But basically, it is, you know, in terms of positioning and stuff, it's definitely working. So that's good. So I think what we'll do is let's get the ninja painted. Okay, so I would think his hand is in here somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off now so I can see what the heck I'm doing. As you can see, this hand is quite a mess. But whoop-de-doo. Okay, so ninja flesh. So we'll give a little hint of his fingers there, but basically not much. Okay, so ninja costume. Yep, and this is the wraps. So let's get the wraps. I'm actually kind of finding it's a little faster to just use the freehand mode, not even try to do fills by just clicking, you know. Ninja costume. We got the, well, actually his hair is black as well. I figured, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if he's Japanese, I assume he's going to have black hair. And I think our ninja characters are supposed to be Japanese. If I find out later not, then we'll have to go in and repaint the hair a different color. The world will probably keep turning if that happens. That's what I would expect. So, ninja flesh, 1, 2, 3. This would be that zone right there. Black hair. That's a wrap. You might see a hint of his, I don't actually know if you would see a hint of his neck there, but I think we'll just go with it. That's okay. I'm just going to correct these spots right now. Actually, that's wrong. That should be the wrap. Sorry. Okay, and actually that really would be too. So let's go ahead and just catch those guys. Catch those guys. Got that. Reps. Oh, caught a little bit of the wrap. And yeah, another nice thing with OpenToonz is you can actually, I'm going to make a correction here on the let's do it this way. I guess I could just do this with the black brush. That's fine. Okay, so what was I about to say? I'm not sure what I was about to say. Okay. So anyway, yeah, the next task is just to get this character all colored in. Now I'm gonna go normal. Boom, 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 and you can see how many flaws you get. Hence the need for the freehand version. I mean, I'm just thankful that OpenToonz has a freehand fill tool, because it saves your butt in a lot of situations. Otherwise, you'd have to go in and basically brush paint it every little spot. It would be a major pain. So, hello. Okay. I think that's good. We got him done already. And this would be the last pose, and then this becomes a hold while our other ninja guy crawls into the frame. So just keep doing what we're doing, and we'll have her done in a few seconds. Okay, actually, I would note that the reason he doesn't have the ponytail on this pose is because I already knew that I'm going to want to create another column with probably a 4 keyframe cycle that loops, because their ponytails and or tassels are blowing around in the wind a bit. So I wanted to make sure that we keep that. You know, and the cool thing is we can decide. Practice, stuff always changes, no matter what you do. Okay, so now we actually have a problem. Yes, we have a problem. So I got to go S key, and I'm going to save my work, because sometimes the S key makes things bog down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control C, Control V. Okay, yep, that's what I wanted to do. And now I'm going to go ahead and erase, and I need to make sure that it's erasing lines and areas. It's actually amazingly cool that it will erase just lines or just areas, because you could erase the paint out of a zone without destroying the lines if you needed to. So my point about like camera shake or a slight camera move, pushing in, that sort of stuff, is that oh gosh, I guess I want to do a little more erasing. Is that you can use that stuff to distract the eye, actually. This really needs to be the soul's color. Okay, yep, that looks good. Let's see, leather. I'm just gonna push in. Oh, come on. Push in here and see if I can just tighten this up a little bit. I mean, that's, you're not gonna really see that anyway, but okay. So leather, boink. That would be this. The wraps right there and right there. Got a little boo-boo. Alright. There's going to be a little bit of a flesh tone here. And yeah, I'm thinking we don't want that. That needs to just be black. Our assumption is that his neck is going to be wrapped, but it's not wrapped with the blue wraps, it's wrapped with just his costume. The neck of it is like a kind of almost like a turtleneck actually. Okay, so now we're gonna have to put in the loop animation, so let's just do it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see how OpenToonz makes decisions about where to put columns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on column 8 and new effects. Okay, so I guess I need to go to the you guys can't see this. Yeah, I was just messing around. I've got a really large X sheet on one of my other screens. So I need a new level. I want it to be a raster level, just at the normal size. We're going to give it the name ponytail. And what I'm curious about is where OpenToonz is going to insert that level. I put it right where I wanted it. Good for me. So that means select a column. If you add a new level, that column will be added right next door. Okay, so you can see what we've got here. So I am going to do something like this. Okay, we don't want to differ too much from what we had here, so essentially we need a couple of colors. How do we want to do this? We've got to have the outline of it. So B. I'm going to do this. Okay, let's just go upstream here. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely black, so I'm going to go ahead and just make it black. Actually, the way I just did it might be the answer. The problem is with raster levels, I don't really have a convenient way to remember the previous color unless I add another palette entry. So probably should do that, but I can sample that color in a minute and get back to it. So what I was going to do is, let's just do this on 3s. All right. And by the way, that needs to go all the way up to his top of his head. I don't know. The reason I forgot that is when I first did this whole concept, it really wasn't a ponytail coming out of the back of his head like that. Okay, so let's see here. What I want to do, I'm having a hard time seeing. Yeah, see, look at that. That looks stupid. Alright, so let's just take a look. Okay, stop. What just happened? I want to check something. Nope, it didn't affect that. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah, this is one of the dumb things about OpenToonz is it does tend to like you click a couple things and then in the palette it'll switch you back to the whatever the default color is for that level, which really doesn't make sense. And I'm going to turn on the onion skinning so I can really see what I'm doing here. Yeah, okay, this is definitely wrong. But I really like the fact that I can even do this at all. Just go in and create a raster level. Tweak to taste. And we'll see if it looks right when it's done. And then I'll go, and if so, I'll go in and add some outlines and we'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm going to keep stretching this down. Rough. But let's go set the start marker. Set the stop marker. Turn off the onion skins. Okay, that's not quite right. Okay, so you use the comma and the period key to jump. Yeah, there's the problem. There's the problem. That frame looks stupid. Okay, so that's not what would happen. What would happen is this would be sort of led this way. Okay, and that right there is too thick. Okay, and then of course this, since it's being whipped around like that, that would not be the same total length. Okay, so same situation here. Oh, maybe not. The thing is that I know that if anybody out there is actually good at animation, they're gonna realize how stupid this is. The heavy part of the ponytail would not be led by the light part. That would be like the end of his ponytail has a mind of its own. So that might be okay. Let's just... Okay, that's probably okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reframe that. I think on 4s. Let's reframe it on step 4. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Control Z. Okay, so if you already have steps baked into it, okay, that's cool. Let's go 2s. Let's go 3s. Yeah, I guess I had it correct. Why is it, when it goes to step 4, why is it... Kind of annoying. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it the hard way. I don't know if 4s are what I want. I'm pretty sure I don't want 2s though, so let's grab that right there. Let's just see how that... Okay, that feels about right to me. So now if we turn this guy back on... Okay, that's a little too mechanical, isn't it? Like I said, anybody that actually is critical is going to go, okay, Dave. Wakey, wakey, buddy. So, unfortunately, it appears that I actually need to take the time to animate this properly. Well, come on. That's the one thing animators never want to have to do is animate stuff properly. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is add some variability here. And I might be totally blowing smoke here and wasting time, but I'm going to fiddle around with it anyway. That big. But like I said, I was just kind of knowing I wanted to do something here, and so I was sort of quickly blocking something in to just see if it would work. But yeah, again, this is where I really need to do more research probably, because the that is not what it would do. So I almost feel kind of stupid even having this out there, but that's alright. Ah, shoot. Okay, yeah, see, it switched to the default brush again. E key. Right there seems. Oops. If this isn't clicking pretty quick, and I don't think it's going to, then I'm just going to set this part aside for later. I mean, I know I need a loop, and we've got the level for it in there. So the problem is right here, if the wind blew it like that, then this would not happen. Okay, why would this not happen? It would not happen because the bottom of the ponytail is leading the top, which that simply is not what would happen at all. So I'm thinking something more like that. I still don't know if that's going to be right, but we'll give it a crack. Alright, go to the next key. Yeah, because basically what I'm thinking is, you know, the wind, a gust of wind comes up, bursts, you know, kind of pushes it, and then that gust is done, and then it sort of falls back in place. And makes me wonder if it should loop, but let's go ahead and play this. Yeah, so I don't think it should loop, but we may copy it downstream a bit. So in other words, let's look at what happens. Oh, that's when it changes pose to there. Okay, so actually the longest it would be is right there. Okay. So let's just extend it and okay, I see what's going on. So he climbs up here. Let's turn the onion skins off. Okay, and then obviously we've got a major problem in our color, but so let's go here. Not quite sure how I missed that, but we can't have. Oh yeah, hold on a second. Okay, I'm gonna, let's see here. Yeah, it's been 37 minutes. I'm gonna stop here because there's a bit of a creative dilemma we need to solve. Initially, this guy had hair pulled back, and so you'd only see the flesh peeking through here. And now, because I wasn't paying attention, I made these earlier shots. Well, I guess actually just one of them, this one, where it looks like he has a bald head, and I'm thinking I actually like the looks of that better. So if that's the case, we're going to want to fix it now, because all the pictures of him with the hair are coming downstream, like right there. You know, here he see what I mean? Do we want this to be, do we want him to be bald with just a ponytail in the back, or do we want his hair pulled back? I'm actually thinking the bald looks better, but anyway, so with that, we'll get that figured out, make the adjustments, and then probably do some more live streaming later. So, adios.